go norte, say alto. These are the words that are inscribed and engraved on the top of the temples of the entrance of Apollo Delphi. And it simply means to know thyself. And Socrates, a philosopher during that time, went on a quest. And what he gathered out of his concepts were the unexamined life is a life not worth living. But I wanted to go a little bit further into ancient details of learning of oneself. And I've seen the word again in my research. But first, let me stop and say something about ourselves. Because it is expedient that we understand who we are. Could we do an hour or 30 minutes speech on ourselves and who we are? Or write a research paper, because it could be possible that someone out of Toastmasters tonight that have made drawn, or someone that's been in for a while, could resurrect such a great artistry in this work of self-development that someone 50 or 20 or 30 years down the road will have to dig up the remains of our work and do a research paper. But what do we know of ourselves? Now, getting back to this word, this Latin word called gnose, which means to know thyself. However, it came from more philosophy. And so we looked at it, and I studied and I searched it, and I said, well, okay, how can I begin to understand this quest? So I want to ask you a question, Lynn. What's your favorite color? Well said. And my favorite color is blue, Egyptian blue, because it's a beautiful color, but it also for me starts with the beginning of life, the beginning of things. So I also want to leave with you guys tonight, fellow Toastmasters and guests, that there are 24 shades of blue. But, however, if someone was to say, have you seen or experienced the 50 Shades of Grey? They'll say, yeah, I've seen that movie. But we need to get more deep and more enriched with ourselves. And to understand that the depths of who we are, whether it's how many bones or our blood type, start from anywhere. Mine was my favorite color. Let us consider the story of the clay Buddha. In 1957, in Bangkok, Thailand, great monks was commissioned the task of moving this clay Buddha from one side of the capital to the other. And so they got the cranes, and they got all their hooks and grapples, and safely tried to move it up, elevate it off the ground, but there was a crack. Murphy's Law in effect. The crack came, and then all of a sudden it rained. They hurried and got a tarp over it. To make the story a little bit quicker, one of the monks that was curious came out to check to make sure that the rain wasn't getting into the cracks. Once he looked in and see the crack, there was a reflection of light. And we know by the laws of nature that clay does not reflect light. So when they looked in and he seen the light, he became curious, and he took his chisel, he took his hammer and began to chisel away. And before long, he realized that he had before him a golden Buddha. And that tonight, my fellow Toastmasters, I would like to say that within you is brilliance, power, and inspiration. But we have to chisel away the influences of the world and the things that will allow us not to be seen fully in our power. I wish so much that before I pass on, that in Toastmasters I can see on the entrance of our doors that if you was to get everything out of Toastmasters, you will never get out of Toastmasters. I like to also leave with you a thought that, and this was just no regular philosopher, he was just a guy that was the president of Belos. But his remains was very prolific. He said that watch your words become action. Watch your actions become character. Watch your character becomes your destiny. It is very expedient that we look upon ourselves and think about everything that's going on with ourselves, understand ourselves, because this is the true nature, to get down to the bulk of it, as being leaders of our today's society. And being a leader means to know who you are at all times, to not compromise and sacrifice the things that are morally and the values that you have as an individual. So, in closing, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, guests, let us move forward in this day-to-day journey with me to know thyself. Thank you.